jawboning it is getting from a lot of folks, including very successful money managers all the way up to the President of the United States, not to overdo it. But it might be too late, according to the former congressman and presidential candidate. Sir, very good to have you.
Thank you, Neil. Nice to be with you.
Same here. What are your fears right now, Congressman?
I'm afraid that the predictable dilemma in the market, the bursting of the bubble in the financial markets, and then the subsequent downturn in the economy is very, very serious because we've never faced anything like this before. Because if we understand or come to the conclusion that the bubbles are predictable, they come from artificially low interest rates, and of course everybody knows how low they have been, and they have been kept there too long. Right. So the bubble is bigger than ever before, and it's unwinding, but it's just barely starting, and it's absolutely necessary. Because if you prolong it like we have been doing, we just keep feeding it. Even in the last recession, we just, knew there needed to be a big correction, but it was held off for a while by the QEs, and that just made the bubble that much bigger. But a market eventually makes the point where just more money won't work, and that's why the Fed's in a dilemma because they've done it for a long time, and they're just tinkering with slowing that up and shrinking their balance sheet. And the markets don't like this. The president doesn't even like it.
No, he doesn't. He's urged against it, as have a lot of other folks. And I'm wondering, sir, if you think now it's too late to do that, because the Fed, if you argue that, is in a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. If it goes ahead and hikes, it'll rattle folks. If it doesn't hike, it will rattle folks, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely the case. If they keep raising interest rates, the markets will be very upset. But if they reverse the course and not do it, which the market would probably do it, people will say, "Hey, boy, they were really worried about it." So
absolutely,
I think they're in a real dilemma between the rock and the hard place. But the trouble is everybody's thinking about what's happening now. Is there inflation now? Where are the problems? What's happening? We should be thinking about these things many, many years before, because the most important leading indicator are low interest rates that are lower than the market, especially anything the Fed does, will cause mistakes, will cause the government to get too big, anticipation of the government, malinvestment, debt gets out of hand. Then you give a lot of money to the banks and the big corporations, and they have all these everything is distorted because they've ruined the one most important price in a free market economy, and that's the price of money. And we know we don't like wage and price controls in the market, because it's true that if you have it, you have socialism. But in money, nobody seems to care. It's just a matter.
Well, you warned about. I'll give you credit, Congressman. You warned about this in the middle of right after the meltdown when we were knocking rates down to zero, and it set up this this bubble, if you will. Is it still a bubble, and is it, by your definition, about to burst?
Oh, yeah, it's huge. It's just leaking a little bit, and it's going down. But you never can have a soft landing. That's not going to happen. And I think, if it weren't so serious, I'd find this all very fascinating, because it's never been happened before. It's never been worldwide. We've never had a single fiat currency controlling the whole world, the military and the financial conditions. And we believe we own the world, and that we're obligated to take care of everybody. We're obligated to go to Saudi Arabia and Yemen and dictate all the rules. No, and that's going to end. It's in the process of ending, but it's never been like this before. So the debt has never been like this before, and it has to be unwound. In the old days, when they hadn't adopted the Keynesianism, say before in the 1921 depression, they just kept their hands off, and there was a deep, deep depression, a year. And it was all over. There was liquidation. But no, we're not allowed to liquidate. And I understand it, because it's politics. Who wants to be responsible for the payback? But it has to be paid, and that is the tough part.
I will give you credit, whether people agree or disagree with you. You were on this before most anyone else. Congressman, thank you very, very much.